guys, I'm Carina, welcome to my kitchen. Today is definitely a day of bravery in the kitchen. I am attempting two things that I've never tried before. Number one, I'm going to attempt to make bread with the Tangzhong method. I've heard a lot about this method. It's also known as Japanese Hokkaido bread or milk bread. It's actually a method where you create a roux and you add that to the bread, and it's meant to make the softest, most luxurious bread rolls or bread loaf that you have ever tried. So I'm really looking forward to trying this. Number two on the new things today is I've brought my assistant into my kitchen. I think it's really important when you are baking bread that you have a lot of power to be able to knead that bread so you've got the crumb that you really want. And I don't want to ruin anything in this method that's meant to make the best bread in the world. So I have been able to loan this KitchenAid mixer from my mom. Thanks, Mom. Today, this machine is not going to get the best of me. It is a day of bravery in the kitchen. We can do this. Now, before we start making bread in a more traditional sense, we need to make the roux, or the Tangzhong starter. To make the starter, we simply mix water, milk, and flour over a low heat until it comes together as a paste. I'm using a recipe on King Arthur flour. I've used it in grams because bread is a science and we really want to get those exact measurements. All the ingredients are listed below. Okay, so I've got my saucepan here and I've just set it on a really low heat. I'm supposed to mix my ingredients into the saucepan and stir constantly so that there's no lumps and so that it doesn't burn. So I'll start by adding my milk and my water and my flour. I'm gonna add a little bit of flour at a time so I can get those lumps whisked out easily. So I don't see it starting to thicken just yet. It's been about 3 minutes and the instructions say it should take 3 to 5. I think I'm just gonna have to be patient with this one. I don't want to burn it. I have to admit I'm beginning to lose some patience here. It's been 5 minutes. I'm turning up my heat just a little bit. I think I might be stuck here forever. Come on, Tangzhong, or however you pronounce it. 9 minutes. Actually, I think slowly but surely it's getting a tiny bit thicker now. Oh, something's happening. Something's definitely happening now. I can see the bottom of the pan now. Yeah. It should have taken 3 to 5 minutes. I'm now on 11 minutes. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. That's the important thing. Okay, I'm gonna say that this looks pretty good now. Yeah, so it's thick. It's beginning to look a little bit like glue, you know, like kindergarten paste, and it is leaving lines on the bottom. So I'm gonna turn this off, and now I need to transfer this to a room temperature bowl and let it cool down. So I might put this in the fridge, depending on how quickly it cools. Before we go any further, I'd love to know what you think about this video. A little something new from me, a little bit of an experiment. Click like or give me a comment below to let me know what you think. If you're not a subscriber, click the subscribe button. I'd love to have you along for my cooking journey. Now I have my ingredients all ready. The Tangzhong was in the refrigerator for maybe a small 20 minutes, half an hour. I have 298 grams of bread flour. This has more gluten in it than normal bread flour. I have no idea what dry milk is, so I've actually just combined the measurement for dry milk and whole milk, about 125-ish grams of milk. Then I've got 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of instant yeast, a large egg, and butter. And I also have 50 grams of sugar and the Tangzhong right here. Now all we have to do is get the KitchenAid started. We can do this. Okay, we're ready. So you guys don't often get to see what's happening behind the scenes when I'm doing my more normal videos. I decided to give you a little fun glimpse of that today. So I'm shooting with 2 cameras right now. I've got my more professional camera right here, and I'm gonna do some slow motion shots. Here we go. So I'm going to start off with the Tangzhong. Next I've got the flour. Last but not least, the egg. Let's see if we can get this thing to work. Turned it up to 2, guys. So this has been going for about 4 minutes. I saw a great tip online which said that you should really scrape the sides of the bowl clean, because these home stand mixers, they don't get everything that's at the bottom. So if you really want to incorporate everything, you should keep scraping. So maybe every 4 minutes you should probably scrape the bowl. I intend to leave this kneading for 10-ish, 12-ish minutes. So every 4 minutes I'm going to be scraping that bowl. Whoa, that's looking pretty good already. I don't want to get the dough out, but I definitely want to sort of flip it a little, just to make sure that we're hitting the bottom in there. I'm actually kneading that too. It doesn't need to be perfect. We're not looking for perfection. All right. It's going pretty well with this one. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I probably didn't expect that it would be so easy. That was another 4 minutes gone. This is looking pretty good. It's looking quite, you know, stretchy. Those gluten strands are really working. I can see it's changing. Give this a little turn. Ooh. 4 more minutes. Okay, it's had its last 4 minutes. Now I'm gonna move this KitchenAid mixer aside. I'm gonna clean the table. I'm gonna make sure I have clean hands because we're just gonna shape the dough a little bit. Okay, how am I supposed to get this off? Okay. Ooh, there we go. I'm back. Kitchen counter is clean. I've got clean hands, ready to shape the dough and set it aside afterwards so it can rise. Look at this dough though. It's so flexible. It doesn't want to come off the dough hook. Food struggles, dough struggles. Right, so I'm going to flour this surface and attempt to get this dough out of its happy little resting place. I feel like this could have been done a bit more elegantly. Great. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit more dough. Flour. Just flour my hands a little bit. Just have a little bit of a knead. It's clinging, but at the same time it's letting go very easily of my hands. A tiny bit left there, but it's very smooth, beautiful dough. What we really want to check for is if it passes the window pane test. You grab a little bit of dough, or you can just do it with the ball, and gently kind of stretch it out until you can not really see through it, but see some light through it. And I would say that definitely passes. It's beautiful. There's not even a hole right there. It's super thin. So I just want to shape this. What I want to do is kind of flip it onto itself like this. That's what I've seen other people do. So we have a little roll, and then we gently tuck it in underneath. And I've got this little measuring thingy with me, also known as a measuring cup. I'm gonna lightly grease this with a little bit of spray. Plop it in there to rest. There we go. Now, this is probably not what I would usually rest my dough in, but I'd really like to see when it doubles in bulk, and this is pretty much the perfect container for it. When it reaches the top, it's doubled. There we go. Okay guys, we're back again. It's proofed for about 60 minutes, 75 minutes, I think. Anyway, the most important thing is when I started, it was about here, and it's about doubled in size, and it's beautiful and puffy. Just take a look at all these beautiful bubbles we've got in here. So now what we have to do is pour it out onto our clean surface again, knock the air out of it, and cut it into our little dinner rolls. It comes out pretty easily, just like that. I mean, it's a beautiful dough. I'm just going to cut this into 8 pieces. There's a special way that they suggest making these rolls, and that is that you want to kind of flatten them out, like so. And then take these small ends and just roll, and then shape it into a ball. Anyway, so this whole flattened roll and shape is meant to get the bread used to being this shape, and apparently also changes the crumb structure a little bit, so you'll have this delicious airy bread. If anyone knows the science behind this, I think a lot of people would love to know, so leave a comment down below. We'd love to know. I mean, look how cute they are. Last one. Now, got out this baking tray and I'm gonna put this very noisy piece of parchment paper on it. And I'm going to transfer our lovely little rolls over. I'm not expecting this to be sort of a pull apart style. I am actually wanting them to be separate dinner rolls. But if you want pull apart style, you just need to find a container that will help them merge into each other while they're rising. So I'm meant to cover the pan and let it proof for another 40-50 minutes. I've had my oven preheating for about 20 minutes on 175 degrees Celsius. Let's take a look at how these rolls are looking right now. They are about maybe double in size. They look so good. All right, I'm gonna give these a brush. You can either do milk and brush them with milk or use egg wash, so that's egg and a little bit of water, and brush them with that. I'm gonna use milk because it's just simpler. In they go. So it says they need 28 to 32 minutes at 175 degrees Celsius. Apparently you're supposed to put a thermometer in and it would read in Fahrenheit 190 at least, but let's wing it. I mean, how many people really have a thermometer when they're baking bread? I don't know, is it just me? So I've just taken them out of the oven. They've been in there for 30 minutes. Look at these, they are looking pretty brown, maybe a teensy bit burned, but not quite. And they smell so good. They smell so buttery. My whole kitchen smells of butter. Oh, I can't wait to try it. I didn't want to open the oven or change anything in case I ruined something with these. To be honest, they look a teensy bit burned. So now they need to cool down for about 10 minutes on the baking tray, and after that I can transfer them to a cooling rack. Let me try cutting one of these open for you now so you can see what it looks like inside. Now we've cut it up, they look amazing. I want to see, how do they taste? Let's give this one a little try here. I'm gonna break it up a little bit. This is a really dense bread. It's sweet and very tasty. I think this would be an amazing bread for breakfast toast, maybe even a good like cinnamon roll. I think these rolls are really delicious actually. I think this is a very tasty bread. I would definitely make it again. So thank you so much for watching this video, and once again, if you liked it, click subscribe. You'll get more videos from me. Enjoy, and thank you for watching in Carina's Kitchen. See you next time.